Hey, it's Kelly here at Don't Run with Scissors, your favorite Jeep driving lawyer, mom of twins and three crazy rescue dogs who likes to craft. He's gone back to school to be an ASL interpreter and is training for Ironman because why not? Welcome back. If you're new here, go ahead and hit the subscribe and the like button. It sends me a message, it boosts my self-esteem, and who doesn't need that? If you're returning, welcome back to the crazy. Welcome back. I messed up last week on a couple things, so let's start there. First of all, I had thought that the person who I asked to help me had actually smushed the two part A and B together. Turns out they didn't. I posted part A, left you all hanging kind of in a weird spot. Didn't realize that till I watched it myself and was like, what the heck? So I posted part B the next day. Hopefully you caught both episodes. I don't know. Hopefully, whatever. The epiphany is happened. I have not taken down my trees. That may happen today. I'm filming on Sunday because tomorrow we start classes. I'm in my going back to the semester freak out. We had a couple glitches with the kids' schedules. I believe they're all straightened out right now. So yeah. It was a little stressful. My mother is adding to my stress level because she's supposed to take the boy child to the campus that his band class is at, and she keeps forgetting what times and where the campus is. And yeah. And so now I'm freaking out that my kid is going to be stranded, either not make it to class because I'll be at a completely different campus. Miles and miles away. So there's like, unless I drop him off early and pick him up late and drive way out of the way, I won't know. So once I'm at class, I'm not going to be able to, I'm like, unless it's an emergency and Bean and I both leave class because we're in class together, there's nothing I can do. And so yeah. So she's adding to my stress levels, which is nothing new. She's my mother. That's what she does. Okay. So that was that was the whole smush. So I'm sorry again. I hope you caught both episodes. The other thing is I finished filming and kind of got everything settled, and the next day I got fantastic news. And I was just gonna jump on and record another one. I was like, yeah, that's gonna like, I'll just hold up. So fantastic news! You all know that my friend Tracy, whose son goes to Oxford High School and lost his best friend and stuff, they had been missing they had gone to Tampa to kind of decompress during the holidays, and had ended up lost their dog. And 10K was missing. Well, 10K was found, and 10K is fine. She needed lots of food. She had apparently been running quite a bit. She damaged her paw pads and nail beds from all of the running. They found her about 3 miles away from where they lost her, or where she had escaped. Better wording. And apparently, from piecing some things together, actually she had been running the whole time, and so her nail beds, from running on the cement, her nails were ground down. She was pretty badly infested with fleas, but she's home and she's safe, and they're on their way back to Michigan. Tracy quickly, got her lots of treats. Made a huge donation to the Tampa Humane Society, which is where they were able to find and connect the two of them. Used the donations. We all were like, you know what, make the donation to Tampa Humane Society and use the rest for vet bills. So they took her to the vet down there. They'll take her to the vet back, their normal vet up here. They bought her lots of treats. They bought her fleece shampoo, gave her a bath, have been loving on her, and everybody's in thank you. Thank you for all your extra prayers that 10K was found. 10K was found. So number one. There was something else I was going to share with you that was happy news. When it pops into my brain, I will share it with you. The other thing that I forgot last week was sign of the week, because we've been doing that. It keeps me learning new signs and practicing. So last week I was going to teach you Happy New Year. I totally forgot. So let's learn it now. So happy, happy, new. It's like you're scooping new, and then year, year. So happy new year. Um, this week's sign of the word week. What? And you have to scrunch your eyebrows. What? Can you shake your hands? What? That's one of my favorites to do. What? I tell the teacher that. What? Again, slower. Um, so yeah. So let's see. Last Thursday I got fitted for hearing aids. We knew that I had a moderate hearing loss that was going on. It was affecting um, more prominent now because so much is done via Zoom with the cords, and I was having trouble like even getting my computer to be loud enough. And my kids were getting really tired of, I don't understand what you're saying. Like I hear you talking to me, but I'm not getting it. So um, they're super, super teeny. And in fact, unless you're looking for them, I posted a picture of the model in my ear on my Instagram. Unless you're really looking for them, you're not going to see them. And if I wear my hair down, you're never going to know. But they're way bizarre. Like, it's kind of creepy how much technology is in these things now. They have a GPS and a step tracker, and so like there's a program, like I have an app on my phone now for it, so that when I get them they'll hook in and I'll be able to adjust, like, hey, I'm outside, the wind is blowing, or that. But it will actually tell, like, if my brain is engaged in enough on a daily basis, like if I'm doing enough hearing or word interaction, so people talking to me or listening to audiobooks and stuff. um so yeah, way for the girl who's not like techie, it's a little overwhelming how much technology is involved in these things, but they're rechargeable and they have a little, like, a little case, and you plug them in, and if the case is fully charged, it's enough to charge the hearing aids for 3 days on its own, I believe she said. And then but you can always plug that into like your USB port in your laptop, or like I have the little charger thing with the USB for my phone in the car. So yeah, so it's a little crazy. um let's see, what else. We go back to school tomorrow. Again, totally my freak out mode I am in. Tomorrow night is web design for me and Bean, and the boy has band. Now they are on totally different campuses, and I have to rely on my mother right now to get the boy to his campus and back home. This has been a source of stress the last bit. Excuse me. Now why do when I film, I always end up with hiccups at some point during filming. So bizarre. Um. So yeah. So she's texted me again. What time and where am I taking him? And do I have to take him there and bring him home? And is there going to be some place for me to sit? Because I don't want to just sit in my car for 3 hours. I didn't ask her to sit in her car for 3 hours. The class is 3.5 hours long, I believe, the practice. Um, and he likes to get there a little early. I'm like, as long as you have a mask, you can go in the student union, which is where the classroom is at, the student activity center on that campus. It's a really nice little building. Actually, Highland Lake campus of OCC, if you've never been there, is super, super cute. It's small. It's probably about 6 buildings total, 5, 6 buildings total. Um, and they sort of look, it's sort of like a little quaint, like mountain village sort of feel, which is a very weird way to describe a college campus. Um, but like if you go to Royal Oak is, well, it's technically it's 2 buildings, but they're very more modern school looking, like um and I don't necessarily like modern school buildings when you're talking, especially at the college level. They sort of almost remind me of prison buildings. That's not like cool. Um, but Highland Lakes is a little bit more homey feeling. It's just it's a cute campus. I like Highland Lakes campus. So that's where his band class is at. Bean and I, however, will be out at the Orchard Ridge campus, which is like opposite ends of the county almost. Because we are taking web design. My goal is that this will help me redesign like the law firm's website and some other things. So I just figured it was good information. Hopefully we are using Adobe Premiere. Is that the program? And I know that when my friend like ideally smushes videos together and stuff, that is the program that they use. So hopefully I'll learn to do that myself, and maybe I'll even learn to be able to put the pictures in and stuff like that. Sky's the limit. I mean, who knows what we're going to be learning. They have already announced that a lot of classes, they're moving from in-class personal classes to online classes. Be prepared. Numbers up here are rising for even the Omicron variant. It's very interesting, and not to get into it, but a little bit into it. It's interesting between my friends to hear the discussions about, is Omicron, are some of these variants as severe? Maybe they're not. I have one friend who's like, it's nothing more than the flu. As long as you're boosted, it's not a big deal. Don't worry about it. Nobody's dying from it. Blah, blah, blah. Then I have other friends who are like, oh no, this is bad. You know, I am very cautious. I'm cautious because of my health. And I know what my immune system is like on a good situation without all of the panini stuff going on. So I'm careful. I'm still masking up much of the time. You know, if I'm going into a restaurant, I'm not, I will be honest, because usually I'm just going in, I'm sitting at my table where they tell you you can take off your mask anyway. So I don't go into restaurants that often. Usually I do take out with the kids. So that said, speaking of food, because, you know, I'm always looking for quick and easy and healthy recipes. Now, we all know that I have some rather severe food restrictions just because of gut health. You know, I'm gluten-free, I'm low FODMAP, I'm essentially dairy-free as much as possible, but I love cheese, so, you know, sometimes you just gotta chalk it up and know. So if you have a Trader Joe's in your area, which now I'm finding out stuff about Trader Joe's management, and I'm not really, I got to do some more research. I might not be able to shop it. I may make a conscious choice not to shop at Trader Joe's, which would really suck because I do like several of their products, and they have some really good gluten-free products. Bread is not one of them. But you get, I would say, 2 boxes of their ginger miso soup broth, a bag of their chicken wonton dumplings, and a bag of frozen vegetables. Throw it all in a pot until everything is kind of heated through, and it is really, really good. I bought, now I did the opposite. I bought 2 bags of wonton, 1 bag of broth. It was not enough broth at all. But I bought the 2 bags of wontons, the bag of broth, a bag of mixed veggies, and a container of pesto for something totally different. And I spent $13. I didn't think that was bad. It gave us a nice hearty soup. Really, it was like, there was not enough broth because I put both things of wontons in there. There was way not enough broth. So I made kind of liquidy vegetable chickens wontons. And it's actually given me 3 meals. The boy 8, and the girl has been watching the cats. Speaking of the cats, so Bean has been cat sitting, and she's been having a great time. The other day she locked herself out. I get this weird message from Canada. I'm like, I don't really get calls from Canada. So I didn't pick it up. Usually if I don't know the number, I'll let it roll to voicemail and then I'll just return the call. So I get this weird message, and it's I thought it was a gentleman speaking sort of broken English telling me he has my daughter. Like, what? Like, kind of freaking out. So I text Bean, I message Bean, I like try to get a hold of Bean, can't get a hold of Bean. Freaking out. I called I texted the people, and they're in Hawaii on vacation. And the guy he has a liver condition, and he had a medical emergency. So he's in ICU. She's like trying to make all these arrangements, seeing if they can even get him home. They're not sure if he can get home, if it's safe for him to fly home, unless they get this kind of under control and whatnot. And I'm like, I know you have cameras. Could you look around and see if you see my daughter? And they're like, what's going on? So I tell them, and she's like, oh my God, oh my God. And they don't see Bean, and they see Bean's computer, but they don't see Bean. So then I'm really starting to freak out. I'm like, okay, do I call the FBI? Do I call the cops? Like, who do you call? Like, my daughter is 21. It's not like right away they're going to be like, oh yeah, let's issue an APB and a missing child report. Like, they're not going to put out an Amber Alert on her. And I'm like freaking out, like, what do I do? And I'm like, okay, I have an extra key to the house because thankfully they gave us 2 keys, one for me, one for me. So I'm racing over there, right? And I get another call from the number. I'm like, hello? And it's Bean. And I'm like, what the hell's going on? Like, Bean locked herself out by accident and ended up going to the neighbor who has just recently moved to the US, like to here from Canada. That's why the number was from Canada. But English is not their first language, and he didn't realize that was the only part of the message that I heard, like, got. Apparently it had been cut off, or maybe I like panicked and stopped listening, kind of thing. And so he's like, your daughter's fine. Like, Bean's like, I'm fine. I'm at the neighbor's. As soon as you can get here with the key, that would be great. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. Yeah. Way to give your mama a heart attack. I was actually surprised I didn't get a call from the cardiologist going, what the heck is going on? Your heart monitor is going off. Like, we all know I set it off. But apparently the top range is not a range. When your heart rate is usually low, it's a lot to set off the top range, apparently. And that didn't do it. So, okay. So, let's see, what else? Those were the big things. Those were the big things. Okay, here's the other thing. I got a lot of stitching done. You're gonna see that in a second. One of my big things, and I posted this, and I was like, oh, happy days, like, kind of thing. I was so excited. I've actually soaked this in. I have a bottle of the Okay, 2 things we need to put out the look for. Mrs. Myers does seasonal scents for some of her cleaning supplies. I love her dish soap, Peppermint. It's a peppermint scented dish soap. I only bought 1 bottle, and now I can't find it because it was like the winter Christmassy scent, and they're already moving on. If somebody finds it where they're not like $30 a bottle, because usually, I mean, it's a little pricier than like buying Dawn, but it's not much more than buying Dawn. So I soaked the piece in my Mrs. Myers peppermint soap, and got like the stamped part out and whatnot. This has been the honestly, now that I see it and it's all washed and it's soaked, it's so cool. Like, I really am proud of this piece. I'm glad it's done. I think Bean would like it if I would stitch one for her. I will stitch something else for Bean. But I finished Pikachu. How cool is that? So this is just under 37,000 stitches. Yeah. Just under 37, or is it just under 38,000? It's right in that window, and now that I've watched the stitch count, I don't know. But I finished that. Then, in an effort to keep making my goals for the month of my focus, I started to FFO 3 small words. Now, Janet and I did this as a stitch along. I completely changed the whole feel of 3 Small Words by Lizzie Kate. I love it. This is more me. I love Janet's. Janet did, I think she may have changed some of the called fors, but she did the flowers and the bird motifs. I clearly changed mine to a beach motif. So, my friend is sending me either a seashell or a sand dollar or a small piece of coral that I will attach here. I also have this because the board that I have has a handle up on top of essentially this. So what I'm thinking is maybe I'll tie some sort of knot with the whatever seashell or whatever in the middle of it down here. Either that or maybe when I mount it to the board, putting this around the edge. Or maybe both. I don't know. But yeah. It's so close. I have to paint the board. That's what's holding me off right now. We all know how I'm feeling about painting right now. Okay, so then I also, that same day, since I had the glue gun out and stuff, I started to FFO 99. Amazon is bringing me some small little beer mugs that will go down here somehow. I have to print out all of the beer names. I'm kind of frustrated with myself. I'm wondering if I shouldn't unmount this, trim down the board, and then trim down this board as well. And it's a little off center. Although Jason loves it, so, you know, ultimately it's for him. So if he's okay with it, should I like be freaking out about it? Yeah. So we're closer to having that fully, like, tomorrow the mugs will be here. The reason I'm filming today is because, again, I have a of paperwork that needs to get done, and either to opposing counsels or to the courts this week. And then with having the long class, I don't know how long this teacher is going to keep us tomorrow night. And I was like, you know what? Better safe than sorry. We're going to go ahead and film today and be done with it. And then you guys just get me a day sooner and, you know, whatever. The other thing that I have done, totally off limits, totally changing subject, I made some cute little cards. It's got 3 little doggies in the back because I have 3 dogs. So if you would like a cute little thinking of you card, you need to send me your address. Your best place to do that is to instant message me on Instagram at His Princess Kelly. Several of you I have. I want to get something to stick in the little envelopes. I don't know, maybe a little scan at DMC or something. And then I'll start sending out my cards to meet that goal as well. Okay, so the only other thing that I have been stitching on, the only other thing, because, you know, we finished Pikachu, is my one of my WIPGO goals for this month, and that is the Coffee Quaker by Heartstrings Samplery, or But First Coffee, whatever. I call it the Coffee Quaker. I think Janet calls hers the Tea Quaker, because she's changing coffee to tea. What I have found out in stitching this a little bit more is that I have apparently 2 skeins of DMC 829, and my skeins are not the same. They're not. That said, I'm not going back and unpicking things. It's just going to stay the way it is. And I have come to terms with that, because some of the motifs, she's actually got it where, like, it's a blend of, it's not a solid color. They're a couple colors. The other thing that I realized as I was stitching last night is that, and I'll show you that in a second, but you'll understand, is that I reversed the colors on my pot. And I'm not unstitching it either. I'm not. That said, I've now worked 3 days out of the 10 that is slated on WIPGO, and I added in, let's see, what have I added in? This is the pot. See, I have my little zigzag, and my triangles are flipped. I've added the coffee. had posted on Instagram, first I drink, and somebody, and I can't remember who, wrote back and they're like, well, that's not the statement of the year kind of thing. I was like, right? Like, maybe I need to do like a boozy, like, first I drink. Alcohol is the solution. Technically, alcohol is a solution, in scientific terms. And then I'm adding, this is the bottom motif on this corner. So we added that, the berry basket. I think this was added since I saw you guys last week as well. I think I had started it, but maybe I finished it. I don't know. We're 3 days in out of 10. Again, I'm still pretty confident that we'll have a finish this month, depending on how long my stitchy days are. Today I'm going to work on a lot of paperwork. Tomorrow's going to be a lot of paperwork in class, so I don't even know if I'll stitch tomorrow, and if I do, it's going to be a light stitching day. So yeah. On It Could Be Magical Stitches, we started our road trip, and one of the tasks between No New Starts, the road trip and No New Starts, and in Magical Stitches, I don't remember which one is which. Task 1 was to stitch on our newest whip, and task this week is to stitch on our oldest whip. Now, I will say I'm not 100% on what is my newest whip that I have declared in 2022 technically is. I think it's it's between the present from my coach and Magic Studies. And I'm not sure which one's newer. So, given that one is going to be a present and one is just for me, I'm going to do task 1, the task of my newest whip on John's gift, which I'm going to double dip and count that as a day of stitching on my whip go board, because that's on my whip go board. It's not been called yet, but I don't mind working ahead kind of thing. As far as the oldest whip on my board, well, the other thing, well, what I could do is count, and I was starting to think about this. The newest whip on 2022 is actually, I haven't started it yet, and that is the Monopoly board um, that I'm doing for my son. So maybe I'll finally start that. But as far as the oldest whip, that is between, let's see, either Pandemic or Jeep Van Gogh. Now, Pandemic, I did some work on last year. Jeep Van Gogh, I didn't touch at all last year. So I think for oldest whip, I may pull out Jeep Van Gogh and put at least a day into Jeep Van Gogh. Again, that's also on my whip go board, so I would double dip on that. And that's a selfish, it's not a selfish stitch. It's okay if it is not selfish to stitch things for yourself. It's absolutely not. So that is a me present. Clearly nobody, I don't know who else would enjoy having Jeep Van Gogh on their wall, but I know that I will. So, yeah. So I think those may come into rotation. I think next weekend, depending on the homework situation, I may set aside on Saturday. I want to make each one of the kids a Valentine's Day ornament, and I have a bunch of patterns, so that's like there's no shortage there. Like, and then Stacy had talked about doing a Valentine's Day exchange, so maybe I'll go ahead and get my ornament out of the way, so that's a little bit less. And I'd also like to do the Betty White tribute piece. The other thing on my Whip Go board is I See Your True Colors, the True Color style from Stitch Life magazine. So I only have to add the second phrase, and it's, I see your true color shining through, and that's why I love you. And then there's a little border, a butterfly, and a potted plant. So I don't know. I'm kind of right now. I think I need a break from Coffee Quaker. I've been working on that, so I may pull this out and work on this. I mean, really and truly, I put this in the bag that Pikachu was in. So yeah, because like I have this whole top half done. I'm not doing the little stars. At least I hadn't planned on doing them for either the top or the bottom. I believe because I did it on the called for count, this will fit in a little 5x7 frame. But I may make it into just like a little pillow. But I don't know. I don't know. So yeah, so that's kind of that. I do still love my little $3 planner for the dollar spot at Target. It's working out really well. The only thing I do wish is that you could add pages to it, because like I'd like to be able to add my Whipco board to it. What I may do is cut out my Whipco board so that it fits the paper and just glue it in. I may just do that. But Whipco is working well. See, I X in my little squares. I did go back and number my squares because originally on the board that I downloaded, which is awesome, it's got the little check boxes for the 10 days, but the squares weren't numbered. And for my brain, I need to be able to have them numbered so that I don't have to count through each month when Jessie calls the numbers. Jessie calls the numbers, I believe, on the 27th. So I've still got a while. I'm on track. I'm on track with my Whipco, but it's only January, so you know, we all know me. But clearly I'm not quite on track with no new starts because I'm talking about, but I have, if I finish Coffee Quaker and True Color Cell, those were both on my no new starts, so then I would have those two spots open up, and I could put, you could put in a piece of the same size or smaller. The problem is that if you go smaller, then you can't go back up in size. So I don't know how that, like, so usually they say like add in a piece that's the same size. So I don't know that I want to jump from, like, I think Coffee Quaker is classified, it may be as a medium, but all of my little ornaments for Valentine's Day are smalls. So then I would lose a medium spot until I finish something else that's medium or large. And that kind of scares me. So we'll see. So again, classes start tomorrow. Lots of paperwork. Still looking for small business grants. Somebody did reach out. I'm blanking on your name. I can see the messages in Instagram. I so appreciate that. I did reach out that way, but the number is, I don't know, the number that I have that you had given me, I have to look up a different number because that number wasn't working. So we'll see. If nothing else, maybe they can lead me to someplace else to give me some places to look. So still, if you have any information on small business loans, that would be great. Not loans, on small business grants, that would be great. Other than that, we're just going to keep trucking. Like I said, I have to call and schedule my test. I'm back to biking almost daily. We did figure out some of the pain is my chair. I have a chair made by Rowe, R-O-W-E. It's a chair and a half, like, but the feet on it, they screw into the bottom of the chair. They're only about this big. They're super short. So what the massage therapist and I figured out, and we did some measuring, is, yes, essentially when I'm sitting in my chair hunched over like this, because I don't sit all the way back, I am sitting in a squat position almost all day. So my quads and hamstrings and hip flexors are freaking out, which is causing a lot of that pain in my hips and even in my lower back. So what I need to do is figure out, so if anybody knows how to do this, I need to be able to raise my chair up higher so that I'm not so that my knees and my legs are more at a 90-degree angle instead of like right now I'm I'm in a squat position all day. So if you know how to do that or where I can order feet for my chair, let me know. That's the other thing. And I did decide I'm just going to go ahead and sew up the bags because that eliminates that pile of fabric sitting there. So I need to set aside a day where I'm just, maybe actually a whole weekend where I'm just sewing. But until I get all the homework in and kind of gauge like when things are due, like my one ASL teacher, ASL 1, everything was due on Saturdays, I want to say. And then the next semester, everything was due on Sunday. And so I have to figure out where this teacher is going to like kind of place everything, as well as where is web design class going to be, where is my human structures and functions class, which I've already got the first assignment I can start reading, so I'm going to start doing that today as well. Hopefully it's a, I think it's one of those books that will read it to me on the computer, which is always great. So lots to do, needless to say. We will talk to you later because I've got a lot to do and I got to get going. So have a great week. I wish you well. If there's anything that I can do to help you, let me know. Again, pop me a message on Instagram, His Princess Kelly. You can always friend me on Facebook. I post a lot of crazy stuff on Facebook. Lots of memes. I like memes. They make me happy. It's my love language. I share memes. Ask Bobby. It's true. Those in TikTok. Again, try the TikTok soup if you can. If you have a Trader Joe's, or you can buy the equivalent ingredients. I thought it was good. I will, like I said, I will do more broth the next time, and I will probably add freshly grated ginger to give it a little bit more zip. It wasn't like really gingery to me. So, and the Trader Joe's soup was not salty, because usually miso soup is kind of salty. This one is not. So do with it what you will. If you have any other great fast, easy recipes that I can kind of make, like say on Sunday, and then have where all I have to do is grab and go during the week, that would be fantastic. So, again, I will talk to you all later. Bye.